Hello everybody, welcome to Tracy Learning Chemistry videos. Today we'll be discussing about phase changes, and in that we'll be covering the topic heating curve. This is the second video related to practice problems on heating curve. So let's see what all questions we'll be covering in this video. The first question, the graph shows the change in temperature of a material as it is heated. Which part of the graph shows the state where the substance exists as both a liquid and state at the same time? You can see here the heating curve of that material where the temperature is taken on the y-axis and the time is taken on the x-axis. And these are the different phases shown. So as mentioned in the graph that the material is heated, so initially this material will be in the solid state. And as we have started in the heating curve that whenever there is change in temperature, in case of heating curve there is rise in temperature, there is no change in state. Wherever there is slope, you can see here, there is no change in state. So at this point also, we have the solid state of the material. And as you can see here, this is a horizontal line which represents that there is no change in the temperature. So there is only change in state. This horizontal line represents there is change in state on heating. So as the heat is supplied, so the solid will change into liquid, and at this point we'll be having the liquid state. And the process of changing a solid into liquid on heating is known as melting. So as per the question, which part of the graph shows the state where the substance exists as both a liquid and solid? You can see here that at the initial point we have the solid, and at this final point of this Q phase we have the liquid, and this phase represents the process of melting. So the answer is Q part of the graph represents the state where the substance exists as both a liquid as well as solid at the same time. The second question. The melting point and boiling point of oxygen are -219 degrees Celsius and -183 degrees Celsius. At -200 degrees Celsius, will the oxygen be a solid, liquid, or gas? You can see here that we have plotted the heating curve of oxygen where temperature is taken on the y-axis and the time is taken on the x-axis, and we have the different phases of oxygen. -219 degrees Celsius represents the melting point of oxygen, while -180 degrees Celsius represents the boiling point of oxygen. As this point represents the melting point of oxygen, which is -219 degrees Celsius, so that means the oxygen is changing from the solid to the liquid phase. And as this point represents the boiling point of oxygen, which is -183 degrees Celsius, so that means the oxygen will be changing from the liquid phase to the gaseous phase. To make it more understandable, I will start from the scratch here so that you can understand all these phase changes. So initially the oxygen will be in the solid state, and as per the heating curve, whenever there is rise in temperature, there is no change in state. So at this point also the oxygen will exist in the solid form, and we can see here that there is no change in the temperature. So this process will represent the process of change in state. And as this is the heating curve and the heat is being supplied, so the solid will change into liquid, and at this point we have the liquid form of the oxygen, and the process of changing the solid into liquid on heating represents melting. on further heating, the temperature of the liquid oxygen will rise. So at this point also we have the liquid phase of oxygen. There will be no change in the state, only the temperature will rise here. And as we can see here, we have a horizontal line. There is no change in the state, and this represents the boiling point of oxygen. So the liquid oxygen will change into gaseous form here. So the process of changing the liquid into a gaseous form on heating represents the process boiling, or we can say vaporization. So as per the question, at minus 200 degrees Celsius, as the temperature is rising here because it's a heating curve, so if I just take it here, minus 200 degrees Celsius will be somewhere here, and if I just plot this, I will get the point here. And this is the R phase, which represents the liquid phase. That means the initial point is also liquid and the final point is also liquid. So at minus 200 degrees Celsius, the oxygen will exist in the liquid form. Part 1 ends here. For more questions, you can view the second part of this video.